What is up, guys? It's me, the AEW Prince. I did tell you I was gonna get a new place, so here we go. It's kind of why I haven't been making videos. I don't want to do another what if. I'll take a break from those for a little bit. I will come back to those, and I will do other rebookings and stuff like that, since that's what this channel's popular for. But I wanted to make an AEW video. Yes, probably the best company right now, which ain't saying much, because you know, with being in quarantine, there's not really a lot of options to watch wrestling related. There was Dark Side of the Ring, but that's over. It's Raw and SmackDown are fucking lame. NXT is alright, but not kind of digging what they're doing right now, personally. I'm not a fan of Johnny Gargano's heel turn. He's a horrible heel, he just is. No one likes to admit it. Not a fan of how Charlotte is going to brand to brand, which leads me to a point that AEW is doing something similar to what WWE is doing, and that is having the wrestlers be kind of all over the place. There's not a real long-term storyline. There's never really a big finale to a match. It just kind of ends and then we move on. Sorry if you saw that, it was my dog. But yeah, there's been a thing where it's just kind of everywhere. It's kind of obnoxious. Like, one of my favorite feuds of this entire year has been Cody Rhodes and MJF. And then when the match happened, MJF got his victory. Then that was it. There's no redemption for Cody Rhodes unless they're going to do it months later. But by then, it's just like, okay, I want to see them do something else now. Because, like, they're everywhere. The best example to say it is Chris Jericho. This guy's been kind of all over the place. He's been probably the best part of AEW, honestly. Le Champion, the Inner Circle, the Bubbly Bunch. This guy's just been all over the place. That's why he's one of my favorites of all time. Top 5 for sure. Hell, even top 3 if you want to be technical about it. But he's kind of been all over the place. I like how he started feuding with the Elite, because it makes sense. The top names in AEW forming the Inner Circle. Then he goes to face Jon Moxley, which makes sense because Jon Moxley is kind of like the top baby face there, and the top heel is Chris Jericho, so there's that. Then he loses the belt. Now what does he do? Does he try to go back for the belt? No, he'll give it to Jake Hager. He'll give it Jake Hager as a spot, which ruined him because now his streak is over really quick, which is kind of pointless. Now he's fighting Matt Hardy and the Elite again, but this time we add Matt Hardy. And now we're probably going to set up Matt Hardy versus Chris Jericho at All Out or All In, whatever they're calling it now. That makes sense. I want to see Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho at All Out. No, we're not getting that. We're getting Chris Jericho and Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, another guy who went from defending Cody Rhodes at Double or Nothing to fighting Chris Jericho. I'm interested in the feud, but it's just like, what? Where did that come from? Like, we went from, I want to see Jericho and Mike Tyson. It looks entertaining, but come on, I don't want to see that. I want to see kind of Chris Jericho try to go back for the title. At the same time, there's Brody, another perfect example, Cody Rhodes. He went from losing the belt or losing his chance to be AEW World Champion. Then MJF beats him. He wants redemption against MJF, and instead Jake Roberts comes out, introduces Lance Archer, and now they're feuding. And now Lance Archer is nowhere to be seen because he lost. Hell, Cody Rhodes beat Shawn Spears. He was said to be one of the biggest heels, who I like, by the way. But Shawn Spears just been kind of on TV, off TV, on TV, off TV. Private Party, that's another great example. Private Party, they went from beating the Young Bucks to just being irrelevant. They're in AEW Dark, which, I'm sorry, that's basically Superstars or Main Event or whatever those shows are. But yeah, I think they need consistency. They need long-term booking. They're still processing. They're a new company. They still got to get their foot in. And I do like that they're signing new guys every now and then, but then they lose focus on the guys that they already have, which is annoying. Look at the Revival, the Revolt, FTR. They're back. They debut. I marked out. I'm happy. And they went from, the Young Bucks went from facing the Elite to hating Hangman Page, or yeah, Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks, the Inner Circle. They're kind of all over the place once again. And then John Moxley, he went from facing Brody Lee to Brian Cage, and I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of Brian Cage in AEW. I liked him in Lucha Underground, I like him in Impact, but it just kind of felt sudden. Like, Brian Cage, really? I'm not, no offense to Brian Cage, but it's like, I feel like if they weren't to sign him in, I'm glad that they signed him in, but I would have waited. I would have waited, honestly. Lance Archer, I hope this is not the end of Lance Archer. He's probably been one of my favorite characters there. Like, his feud with Cody was great, but then again, we forgot about MJF. It just kind of became irrelevant. MJF went from beating Cody Rhodes to facing Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy, who I like, and probably was the best match at Double or Nothing, besides the Stadium Stampede Twitch. That that was fucking fantastic. But yeah, I kind of wish they had more of a structured storyline. Like, what happened to long-term booking? Like, what happened to that? I know that people hate rematches all the time, but if you do them correctly, then they work. Trying to think of some good examples. Trying to think of some great examples. Let's take, for instance, the Undisputed Era. Let's take Adam Cole and Ricochet. They feuded for the belt, and they're still feuding for the North American Championship. And they didn't want a direct rematch because it would be kind of hard. The best thing they could have done is a ladder match, but they didn't do that. Instead, they brought the War Raiders, who were new guys. Pete Dunne, who's probably been an established UK champion, the best UK champion there is. And Ricochet, who's kind of like the leader, trying to just beat the Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era is like all teaming up once and for all, and they're bringing it to War Games. So there's ways of making long-term storylines work, but you just kind of gotta figure it out. I mean, I'm glad that AEW's around. I'm glad that they are doing what they're doing. They're probably, like I said, the best TV or the best wrestling television there is right now. So yeah, I just want AEW to have more consistency in their storylines. I think we could all agree with that. I don't know, what are your guys' takes on it? Give me your thoughts. AEW, should they do long-term storylines? Should they kind of structure their characters up a little bit better? I don't know. And what happened to Big Swole? She was feuding with Britt Baker. I'm pretty sure she's either injured or she's in quarantine. But Big Swole and Britt Baker, that could have been an interesting storyline match, but it kind of went nowhere. I heard it might have happened in AEW Dark, but I don't watch AEW Dark. I mainly just focus on Dynamite because that's where all the big names pop up. So yeah, any takes? That'll be it. Just want to give some quick thoughts on AEW, how that's going. So anyways, till then, I'm out. Subscribe.